welcome back to Amanda's Trying, where sometimes all we can do is try and get through a day, and that's okay. I'm Amanda, and today I'm going to be talking about different treatments for TMJ and also my own experiences with some of those treatments. Darcy, can you...
I'm trying really hard, I promise. But all that I could do today was cuddle my dog and cry.
Okay, so first, before we start the official video, I just wanted to give you guys an update. If you don't care about me, that is fair. So I will put the time that you can skip to in this corner right here. Okay, now that everybody who sucks has skipped, hello, all of my favorite people. I just wanted to say, first of all, thank you for all of your support. It's more than I expected, a little overwhelming, but it's good that people are nice to me. I just don't know how to take it all the time, but honestly, everyone's reaction and love is more than I could have ever expected, and I'm very grateful, so thank you. Also, update on my whole ABI waitlist thing. I have a caseworker now. I will get to see him, they said, in 2 months, so probably like what, 4, 5, 6 months. I'll see him at the clinic. He's referred me to a neuropsychologist, but the wait list for that is 7 months. So good news is that, like, we know that they got my referral. Yeah. Disclaimer, this isn't me telling you guys what is good and what is bad, but I just know how overwhelming it is to try and figure out like what the right route to TMJ treatment is. And so I thought maybe this video could be helpful in kind of putting all, or not all, but lots of information all in one place, to kind of make it a little bit easier to have it make sense. I will include all of the articles and resources that I reference, and even some that I don't reference, in the links, not in the links, I will leave the links in the description below. So go ahead and read those on your own. And I hope this is helpful. That is my goal for this video. So before we get into treatment, I just want to take a minute to talk about what TMJ is and what TMJ disorders are. If you have a TMJ disorder, you are very well aware of what it is, but for those who aren't, TMJ is a jaw joint kind of like right beside your ear, and I'm gonna put up pictures that show what a good joint is, and that would be, because it's a like ball and socket type of joint, you want space between the ball and the socket. TMJ disorders are when the ball and socket are too close, and so there's rubbing of bones and cartilage against each other, and that's what causes a lot of the pain, and the muscle tightness and things like that. It's a whole mess, but yeah, hopefully that makes sense. I have pictures so you can see the difference between what a healthy TMJ looks like and an unhealthy one. So TMD, that's just what I'm going to be saying for TMJ disorders, because it's a lot faster and easier. But the symptoms that come along with TMD would be jaw discomfort and soreness, headaches, pain spreading like from behind the eyes and then like down the face into the jaw and all the way down to your neck and shoulders. earaches and ringing ears because it is so close to the ear, locking of the jaw, limited mouth motions. Most people with TMJ do a lot of like clenching and grinding of their teeth, especially at night. Dizziness, teeth sensitivity, numbness and tingling sensation in fingers, and changes in the way the upper and lower jaw or lower teeth fit together. So for me personally, I had the symptoms of jaw discomfort and soreness, headaches, pain spreading behind the eyes and in the face and neck and shoulders, earaches and ringing ears, clicking and popping of jaw, jaw locking, and limited mouth motions. So before anybody freaks out and is like, oh my gosh, I have some of those symptoms, do I have TMD? Do I need to go get help? First of all, jaw clicking on its own is super common. I'm referencing an article here that shows that 2.5% of Americans have it, but we can probably just extrapolate that to assume it's around the same percentage in Canada. So a lot of people have jaw clicking and might have some of those other symptoms as well. The only time that you need to start being concerned is when you start having pain along with those symptoms. Okay, I don't know what I was gonna say, so I'm moving on to the next point. So something to note is that majority of people who go for treatment for TMD are women. Actually, 1 in 5, no, not 1 in 5. Women are 5 times more likely to be diagnosed with TMD. And it's just the way, I don't know, the women's face is slightly different, the proportions of the jaw are slightly different, I don't know. Again, I'm linking the article, so if you're like, why is yet another thing harder for women? You can read more about it and be sad with me.
What you're saying is extremely misogynistic.
Yes. Thank you.
I'm saying that you're being sexist.
No, I'm being misogynistic. That is insane. I'm not being sexist.
Okay, so to start off talking about treatments for TMD, I'm going to start with some of the treatments for less severe cases, and then later on talk about if you have a more intense problem, what you'll probably have to go through. If it's not as severe of a case, one thing you can do is go to a physiotherapist, maybe a massage therapist, but for me, I went to physio to have different massages and have them just work on my muscles to try and loosen up the jaw. So for me, what happened was just like massaging the shoulders, neck, like the temples and the jaw area here, to loosen up the muscles. And then you can also have them work on your muscles like in your mouth, which is hard if you have a gag reflex like me. But so I found those things to be like temporarily helpful, like for a day or two. But I had a little bit more of an extreme case. So for some people, massage is like super helpful and it does a lot for them. Also acupuncture. For me, I've never actually had acupuncture. I had electroacupuncture, which, as far as I can tell, does the same thing. You just don't actually have needles in you. It's an electric current that is stimulating the muscles rather than a needle. For me, that ended up triggering more pain because, you know, when you're stimulating and pushing on muscles, eventually they might loosen, but there might also be a reaction that causes more pain initially. And so the massages were just better for me. But acupuncture is also a choice, and a lot of physiotherapists, especially those that treat TMD, will have that as an option as well. Another really helpful thing that I found was a chiropractor. My chiropractor does jaw adjustments every day, and it's just routine for him. And I was so hesitant to actually let him do anything with my jaw because, well, for one, anybody who's not a chiropractor, like, will tell you never go to a chiropractor. So like my physiotherapist, my TMJ specialist, they told me, like, I don't think a chiropractor can help you. My chiropractor was like, I can help you. And, you know, I'm a particularly sensitive when it comes to the jaw because of my surgery. But eventually, after almost a year of going there to my chiropractor, I was like, okay, I don't really have anything to lose. I will let you adjust my jaw. And it was so minor and so gentle, and was not a big deal at all. And my jaw, the first couple of times that he adjusted it, was a little bit tender the next day, but there was also this feeling of like a release of pressure. If you have TMD, a lot of time there's just like, it feels like pressure building up right here, at least for me. And when I got adjusted, that was relieved in a way that I never experienced with the massage therapy that I had. That being said, I would say it still is relatively temporary, at least at this point. I've only been adjusted with my jaw for like a month, so I can't say for sure long term. I'm hoping, you know, that there will be long-term improvements like the rest of my spine that has been adjusted for much longer. I will link several articles in the description talking about how chiropractors can help with TMD, because I know you're not really going to get information in other places about chiropractor and TMD. Fair warning, all of these articles are written by chiropractors, but again, anybody who's not a chiropractor doesn't know anything about what a chiropractor does and how they can help you. So check it out, make an informed decision, but know that that is an option. So if you have a more intense or severe case of TMD, or you've tried massage therapy, acupuncture, chiropractor, and you haven't really experienced a lot of relief with some of the bigger symptoms like jaw clicking and locking, then you might have to do a little bit more intensive treatment. And so for me, that was a TMJ specialist that I was referred to by my dentist. And it's splint treatment. And I've already, I should grab my splint to show you guys. Okay, so for my TMD treatment with the specialist, it is called splint therapy, and I have props because it's hard to understand if you don't see it. So I had to have several splints made as they tried to adjust my jaw to be in the most ideal position. So this is an old splint, but it's like this. You see? Sorry, my hands are really shaky, as always. And it just goes on top of your teeth, on top of your bottom teeth. And let me see if it'll fit on here. You see? Like this. So, see? Kind of, I don't think they're fitting quite right there. So this is what is going on in my mouth right now. And that's what splint therapy looks like. So you get a splint, and because your jaw, oh my gosh, your jaw, right? When it's together like this, and the ball, and the ball in the joint, let's say it's here. Sorry, my hands are so shaky, right? When you put the splint on, it makes your jaw, your bottom jaw, lower, right? Wait, what? Lower than it was before. And so then what that means is the ball up in your joint also lowers. Oh my god. So then there's more space, which I'll put up the pictures of what a bad joint looks like and a good one, right? The good one has more space. I'm all chalky now. The good one has more space than the bad one. And so that's the idea of splint therapy. But hopefully that gives you an understanding of splint therapy when I talk about it, because it's very hard to explain, but I had visual aids, so like, come on. You guys all get it. Totally get it now, right? Right?
I understand nothing.
Now that you have an idea of what splint therapy is, so basically then if you go to a specialist for splint therapy, what happens is they obviously make a mold of your teeth and make the splint, and that splint is a day splint, and so most people wear it just like during the day. You wear it literally like every single second, even while you eat. And then they also make a nighttime splint that looks different. You're again gonna have to ignore my shaking hands because it's just getting worse as the video goes on. But okay. Oh, dang it. Can you see this? So this goes on your, it would go on your top jaw. And this little thing, that's where like your tongue would rest on. And then you wear just like a normal retainer bottom on the bottom of your teeth. What the nighttime appliance does, is one, it stops you from clenching and grinding, which most people who have TMD do that a lot. And so to just stop that relieves a lot of the tightness and pain, muscle pain that you have, especially in the morning. And it also stops your jaw from falling backwards, right, back into the socket, because when you're sleeping your head's tilted back, and so then the jaw naturally shifts back a little bit, and so this appliance stops that from happening. For me personally, because I'm always different and special when it comes to jaw problems, the night appliance made me feel worse. Like I would wake up feeling so awful, and that was when I was concussed and was already waking up feeling awful, but like it made it even worse. And so I was told to try just wearing the daytime splint all of the time, at night too. And so for me, that felt a lot better. So that is kind of what splint therapy looks like. The idea is that you wear these splints 24/7 for 4 to 6 months. And by that time, your jaw will have shifted into the more ideal positioning. Your symptoms have been alleviated, or at least minimized and reduced. For me, it took, I've been wearing these splints for over a year, and the jaw is now in the best position that it can be in. I'll include, I have x-rays that show how my jaw has moved, and you can see that like there's more space in the socket and like the joint that wasn't there before. There's definitely improvement. but I definitely still have a lot of symptoms still. But I guess that's just something I have to live with because it's as good as it's gonna get. But if when your jaw moves positioning, your teeth, like obviously if your jaw's moving, then your teeth are not going to align in the same way. And for me, my jaw needs to stay here. But as you can see, I have this gap. And if I take out my splint, then the gap is gonna close, but that means that my jaw is gonna go back. And they can't have that. So if your jaw has to move that much, that your teeth are now going to not align correctly, then you have to get braces or Invisalign to adjust your teeth. So that your teeth will now, instead of the splint, your teeth will be the thing that keeps your jaw in place. With that being said, I'm linking a bunch of articles that show that splint therapy can be effective for TMD. There is an article that talks about how splint treatment should not cause permanent changes to the bite, which contradicts everything that my specialist is doing with me. I don't know how to process that. Do your own research if that helps you alleviate some of that anxiety, and so that you know kind of what to expect and what you want to do. So for me, regardless of what the research says contradicting one another, I have found improvement through this treatment, like I said earlier. So my jaw doesn't click as much. When I went in initially, they did a test. They attached stuff to my face and then had right on the joint and had me open and close my mouth so my jaw would click, and they measured how loud the clicking was. The normal person, the click is on level 0 to 20. That's the normal range of noise your jaw should make if you don't have TMJ issues. And that's kind of the goal of where they wanted me to get to, but I can't remember exactly what it was, but I was asking my mom, because this happened again in the peak of my concussion, so my memory isn't great, but it was between 400 and 600. Yes, they said it was one of the highest that they've ever had. So fun. But now, my clicking is only at 60. So that's improved massively, and I don't have pain with my clicking. Which before, every time I would yawn or chew and it clicked, I'd be in pain, and I don't have that. So that's a major improvement. I also don't have jaw locking anymore. It used to be that my jaw would, if I was opening and closing a lot or chewing a lot, or it was just, I don't know, tighter than normal, my jaw would lock so that I couldn't open it more than this much. So I really couldn't eat. And I would just have to keep my mouth closed and wait, and it would usually unlock after an hour or so. That's not good. If you have locking, you need to go get that looked at right away. But I don't have that anymore. So those are, clicking and locking are two of the more concerning symptoms, and those have both gone away. Well, the clicking hasn't gone away, but the pain with the clicking has gone away. And so that's massive improvement. I also have slightly less muscle tightness, and I have more mouth movement. I'm able to open it more and all of that, which is related to tightness. So the treatment has helped. It's not like a miracle treatment, but it allows my jaw to at least function in the necessary ways. Okay, so the last treatment that I am aware of is surgery. So at least the way that, my own treatment has played out, surgery is really the last hurrah, the last choice. It's if you haven't been able to get relief from any of the other treatments that I've mentioned earlier, then you're going to try surgery out. And there's different types of surgery. I will link the articles below so that you can read about them, but basically there's just like 3 levels, and each one is a little bit more invasive than the last. So one, it's like just like a tiny hole, you can go home that day. It's like with a tube, I don't know, whatever the technical terms are. Read the article if you need them. But yeah, it's not very invasive at all. You can go home that day. Pretty chill. And then the other 2, there's just more of an incision, and so the recovery time naturally is longer. So the success rate of jaw surgeries, it depends on the type of surgery, but most of the articles that I saw, it was around 70%. Some success rates are higher. I'm assuming for the least invasive surgery, that would be a higher success rate. But yeah, it's between 70 and 90% that they say that the surgeries are successful. With that being said, there is no standard definition of what is considered a successful surgery. So again, do your research, figure out what exactly success means. If you're meeting with a surgeon, ask them that question. Be very clear of what your expectations should be going into the surgery, and if it's really something that's worth it according to what you could gain from it. A lot of people that I have gone to for TMJ are really anti-surgery for TMD treatment. They're very anti-surgery, especially my specialist. And so before I researched this, was like, just assumed it was all terrible. But I do know somebody who had the surgery and it helped them massively, but they had a very severe case of TMD. If anybody watching has had surgery or knows somebody who has had TMJ corrective surgery, please comment down your experience or that person's experience to help us understand options a little bit better, because it's confusing. It's confusing to research. It's a confusing disorder or issue to have. So if anybody has any other information, even if it is just your personal story, I'm sure that we would all really appreciate it to kind of hear more about it. To summarize, the options that I am aware of for TMD would be massage therapy, acupuncture, and chiropractor. Those are kind of the first things that people should go to if they're experiencing any type of TMJ issues. After that, if that doesn't work, then you have splint treatment from a TMJ specialist and surgery as options. But surgery is kind of the last resort. Really, The difficult thing about having TMD is that there isn't this easy step-by-step, here's how you get better. It has to be this collaborative process. You're probably going to need to see more than one person and who's going to try and help you. And you're going to have times that you don't feel like there is improvement and you don't feel like there is a solution. It's frustrating having something that every person is different and unique and therefore has to kind of figure out their own path for what is right for them. And it's exhausting, but I'm hoping that with this video, it kind of helps you process what your options are, gives you resources to figure out what treatments you might want to pursue. Please do research, understand what the treatments are before you go to them. Also, don't feel like you ever are obligated to do a treatment that you're not comfortable with. No physiotherapist or chiropractor or specialist or even surgeon should be forcing you or pressing you in any way to get treatment that you don't want or don't feel ready for. My chiropractor was so desperate to adjust my jaw, but he waited months and months and months very patiently until I felt that I was ready physically and emotionally and mentally to get my jaw adjusted. And maybe that was me being dramatic, but it's my body, so I'm allowed to be dramatic and I'm allowed to take the time that I need. And don't be afraid to do that for yourself as well. It's part of your right. Hopefully this video helps you, maybe lets you feel a little bit less overwhelmed, because I know how overwhelming trying to figure out treatment for TMD is, but have hope. There is options out there. Alright, finishing off the video with a song recommendation. So, you can't really see this shirt. Yes, it is the artist of the decade, Miss Taylor Swift.
Point is, haters gonna hate, shake it off, Taylor Swift always right.
It's her song Evermore, and I just have these lyrics. It's my favorite part of the song that just hit so hard, where it says, I had the feeling so peculiar that this pain won't be forevermore. And I'm not quite at that point, if I'm being honest. I still really struggle to have that hope that the pain that I'm experiencing physically and mentally will not be something I deal with for the rest of my life. I'm not sure that I believe that, but I'm hoping one day that I will be able to get to that point where I have that peculiar feeling. And for anybody else out there, it's okay if you don't have hope. Maybe just hope for hope. That's where I'm at, and that's what gets me through a day. And one day, maybe we'll all actually be able to really relate to these lyrics.
And I was catching my breath, floors of a cabin creaking under my step, and I couldn't be sure. I had a feeling so peculiar, this pain wouldn't be forevermore.
just make up your mind. Oh my gosh, I thought last video was bad. Okay. So then I feel like a dentist. Hopefully this video is a mess. Oh my gosh. Okay.